Jeffrey, for 40 years now, you were inspired by this idea that we are by your teachers and by India, that as beings we're divine, which is a real thought in itself and a very loaded and wonderful word, and that we are eternal. Yet, of course, it's very difficult to prove that. Let me ask you this: if I was a scientist sitting here, how do you describe what are the symptoms of our eternal nature? What are the symptoms of us being divine beings, as you express? What does that look like for us? What does that mean?
You know, Pete, sometimes there are marvelous coincidences when you do things. And while I was writing the book, to distract myself, because I read a lot and study many different things, I took as my side passion the study of genetics. And I started reading books on genetics. And I read about Crick and Watson, who didn't really discover it, but kind of brought it to the surface. There were several other scientists. Long story short, if you study genetics, what you find out, bottom line, is that the smallest bacteria, the simplest bacteria on our planet, has the equivalent in their DNA of 300 encyclopedias of meaningful sentences that tell them how to be a bacteria. In other words, inside of them, there's a department that has a library with 300 books. And the books are how to be a happy bacteria. And somebody inside of them reads those books all the time in order to keep making them a happy bacteria. We, on the other hand, have a few more books in the library. I think it's a couple million or something like that, 2 or 3 million. Ever been to a library with 3 million books? Well, it's in your cells. As a matter of fact, it's in little tiny strands of DNA. And there's 3 million volumes that are telling all the little helpers in our body how to be what we are, how to digest our food, how to get to the party. Now, I like scientists because they're smart. I like smart people. I like all people, but I like smart people. And they discovered this, and now they're ignoring it. I want to know who put the 3 million volumes in my cells. And they know now that 4.6 billion years is not enough time even to get a chimpanzee to type Shakespeare. Statistics are right now that it is more statistically likely, we're talking about the random universe, you know? It is more statistically likely that a tornado will hit a junkyard and produce a 747 than it is that one-celled organism with 300 volumes of knowledge in its genetics would arise given any amount of time, what to speak of the 4.6 billion years that science says we have been here. So I would say to the scientist, I love you, you're a nerd, you're not paying attention. You're not looking at the miracles right in front of you. You're only looking at your experiment, but you're not looking at the conclusion. And right now the conclusion is life is amazing, intelligent, filled with information, and I want to know where that intelligence comes from and what that intelligence is trying to tell us. So don't be afraid of the mean, bad God of some religions that were mean to you. And avoid the truth that's right in front of you, that the universe is intelligent. On the other hand, what you do with that is up to you. I don't have to tell you what to do with it. So you can just sit with it. Just sit with the fact that there's 300 volumes of information inside of every bacteria in your body. It drives me crazy. I don't know about you. But I like books, so there's my answer.